Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you're doing fantastic. I sure am. This is the happiest Thanksgiving that we've ever had. Probably, quite frankly, the best Thanksgiving ever because we won. We won big. And Kamala, you're fired. Thank you, Mr. President. I absolutely love you. Come on in. Come on in. Let me know if you're watching this on the replay. Just give me a capital TR. Let me know where you're joining me from, what city, what state, what country. I love hearing from you. What are your plans for Thanksgiving? Are you celebrating it? Any special recipes? Man, let's make our comment section come alive. We're going to talk about a couple of amazing things. Before the man has even taken oath, he is making America great again. The art of the deal in action. I'm going to share with you some amazing news about the border, about Mexico, about the migrant invasion. Also, we've got the Kamala fraud train just keeps on rolling. Staff members now going on podcasts, Kamala HQ. A lot of them are kind of Gen Z, millennial, of course, younger kids, and they are admitting to falsified poll numbers and more. I'm going to share a clip of that. Stick around. You don't want to miss that. Plus, we've got a CNN panel losing their mind, actually accusing the number one show in the world, the number one podcast, Joe Rogan, of changing his political views for money. Watch as one of the panelists basically says, you guys are all nuts. And then CNN loses their mind. Joy Reid, or as I like to call her, Joyless Reid, actually doubles down on family members skipping out on Thanksgiving with Trump supporters. I'm just going to share with you this quick, insane rant. Plus, this is really good. Kevin O'Leary predicts Justin Trudeau, Canada's prime minister's political downfall. So much to talk about. Also, lastly, I'm going to share the National Press Club of Australia proving how out of touch the entire, like we needed any more proof, the entire absolute old guard of the media. I'm going to play you a quick clip of this absolutely removed from reality lunkhead, what he says about the Joe Rogan podcast. Again, they're attacking independent media. They're afraid because they're losing their grasp of control over us. November 5th was a massive mandate, not only against tyranny, not only against communism, not only against America Last policies, but against the propagandist media that continues consistently to lie, and they haven't let up. Okay, but first, I have to talk about this. This is absolutely phenomenal. Come on in, come on in. This is amazing. President Trump, made a beautiful, beautiful phone call with Mexico President Claudia. And through one phone call, I'm going to share with you the actual tweet. And then through one phone call has effectively stopped the migrant invasion that was happening at a free fall under Biden and Harris. I'm going to share with you really quickly. You have to see this amazing tweet right here by Donald Trump. Okay, so he says here, this is amazing. Just had a wonderful conversation with the new president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo. She has agreed to stop migration through Mexico and into the United States, effectively closing our southern border. That is called America First, ladies and gentlemen. That is called we are absolutely winning unceasingly. The man isn't even in office yet, and he's already making amazing, amazing deals, putting America first. Also, I want to share this too. Piers Morgan said something really interesting. Actually, I just thought of it, but I'm going to share with you what he tweeted out, which talks a lot about what happened in Butler and also what happened, Trump's kind of newfound sense of purpose. He tweeted out this amazing thing about Trump. And I think it's just worth sharing. And I want to share it with you right now. It's going to make you absolutely feel super patriotic and super. Okay, here we go. So Trump, he says this about Trump that, okay, right here. I want to share this. This is so cool. He tweeted this out just the other day. Let me share this real fast. Okay, so look at this. This is amazing. Piers Morgan, who won the Celebrity Apprentice, I think one of the first, somebody, I don't know, I never kept up with this stuff. Let me know in the comments if you know. I think Piers Morgan won. Didn't he win the very first Celebrity Apprentice when the show first aired? I'm not sure. I could be wrong. He's since, been fired from the BBC or his Britain station for, defying woke ideologies and speaking out against them. Now he's got his own show and he's doing phenomenally well. So Piers Morgan posted this on X. By the way, follow me on X. I'm Professor Nez everywhere. One of my mods will share the link. Just go to X, search Professor Nez. I'm verified. I got the check mark. He says, President Trump, listen to this. This is powerful. President Trump just called for a chat. I've never heard him sound so happy and relaxed. I think surviving an assassination attempt and winning such a huge victory, especially the popular vote, has had a profound effect on him. What do you guys think about that? Good to see you, Jim Barron, Georgina, Ronnie from Tennessee. It's good to see you all. I didn't expect anybody to be here because it's Thanksgiving, but I love you guys nonetheless. I'm sure there's a lot of replay viewers. Welcome, replay viewers. Let me know where you're joining me from, what city, what state, what country. I love hearing that. But what do you think of this? What are your thoughts on this right here of Piers Morgan giving a kind of deep, mystical engagement with President Trump? I truly believe every single syllabus of this. I think this is so profoundly true, and we're seeing it time and time again. Other news is that, so there was a little bit of like back and forth where, so she said, no, that's not exactly what we meant. We're not going to close the border. But then this just came out recently where the president of Mexico has called off any potential tariff war with the United States after her call with President Trump. She says, quote, there will be no tariff war. Trump announced she agreed to immediately effectively shut down the border. This is a complete change in tone. Before the call with Trump, Sheinbaum was threatening. By the way, before this, she was threatening against the U.S. a retaliation by tariffing our products. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the art of the deal in action. You cannot love this anymore. If you love America, if you're excited by what Piers Morgan said, what we all felt happened after July 13th, and this amazing cabinet picks, the Department of Government Efficiency, picking the border czar, Tom Homan, picking Treasurer of Secretary Benson. The list goes on and on. Pam Bondi as Attorney General is a phenomenal pick. Let me know what your thoughts are on some of the picks. I would love to hear you. There's a lot of people who have problems with a few of them. Pete Hegseth, I think, is fantastic as Defense Secretary. I would love to hear your comments down below. Let me know in the comments. Holy mackerel, ladies and gentlemen, the happiest of happy Thanksgivings. We are winning. We are winning big. The guy's not even in office, and we're already taking over. Okay, now, here's some breaking news, okay, that I want to share with you, and that is this. Kamala's senior advisor. This is absolutely huge. Kamala's senior advisor just admitted on a podcast. Okay, I'm going to share this with you right now. Just admitted on a podcast, okay, that the entire campaign was essentially all of the numbers essentially were an absolute fraud. So he basically admitted, his name's David Plouffe. He basically admitted that the media polls that had Kamala ahead were all wrong. Their internals never had her winning. How many of you remember seeing all of these magical poll numbers? Okay. How many of you guys remember this? Seeing all of these magical poll numbers of Kamala's ahead in Iowa. Oh, Kamala's winning the national poll. Guess what? It was all a gigantic, you knew it. I knew it. I was reporting it. We were reporting the truth. My fellow Americans, now senior advisor David Plouffe, it was all a gigantic capital L-I-E. Listen to this.
When we got in, my recollection is some of that snapped back, but we were behind. I mean, I think it surprised people because there was these public polls that came out in late September, early October, showing us with leads that we never saw. I mean, it was just basically a race that in the battlegrounds was 46-47, 47-48. So that's not where we started. We started behind. She was able to climb out. I think even after the debate, we might have gained, 0.51. It wasn't a race that moved a lot. And so I think when you think about our own internal analytics, if you have Wisconsin at 47-47, or Pennsylvania 48-47 Trump, let's say, which I think is where we had it at the end, you've got to have undecided to break your way more than your opponents, and you've got to get a little benefit from turnout, which we weren't able to do.
Okay, so my fellow Americans, what does that tell you? Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. It's great to see you. The entire campaign was a fraud. They executed a coup on a sitting president. We can never forget this. Biden, in all intents and purposes, Biden, I think, would have done a lot better. I think he would have done, if you think Biden would have done a lot better than phony in chief Kamala Harris, let me know in the comments down below. My fellow Americans, the entire campaign was a lie, was a fraud. She still, by the way, just a quick reminder, still to this day, thank God we have the mandate on November 5th. I bless and thank and adore all of you for voting for America First. I love you. Give yourselves a huge, huge round of applause. But everything that we reported was true. She's still, to this day, my fellow Americans, to this day. Remember when she lost on November 5th? She told everybody to go home at the University of, what was it, Howard or Brown? I can't remember. She still, to this day, hasn't done a full press conference taking actual, real questions, unpremeditated, unrehearsed, unpre-programmed, unpre-recorded questions from real journalists. What does that tell you? This party, wow, they needed this L. This is the best thing. I truly believe this is the best thing that ever happened to the Democratic Party. They needed to swallow this gigantic L more than anything. It is going to be healing. It is going to be a remedy for them. They are forced to go back to the table. They are forced to rebuild, overhaul. I mean, we've seen the largest exodus of lifelong Democrats. Alan Dershowitz is one, Tulsi Gabbard, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., just to name a few. I had Evan Barker on our show. She was a lifelong, mega campaigner, Democrat operative. She's gone. She's left the party because they're unrecognizable. Remember, Joe Rogan voted for Bernie Sanders in 2016. Bernie Sanders, that's about as close to socialism as you could ever come by. He voted for Trump and endorsed Trump in 2024. Again, most of you guys might think, Nez, you're such a right wing. I'm not right or left. I love America. If anything, if I had to identify what I am I'm a constitutional centrist. If I had to, which I don't really even like to label myself, but if I had to, I'm a constitutional centrist. I love America. I love our values and principles. I stand by them. I believe in the Constitution, the greatest document ever composed. I believe in our glorious republic, the greatest country ever invented. This is living proof the entire thing was a big, gigantic fraud, lie. They were never ahead. They never had any support. They never listened to the constituents. They never cared about us, the American voters. They never cared about us, hardworking American citizens. They only paid attention to the donors. They lost over $1.5 billion in less than 60 days for the love of the Almighty. Can you believe that? And they're still begging, by the way. They're still asking donors. They're still begging people for donations. Can you believe this? After all this, they're still begging for it. Unbelievable, my fellow Americans. Speaking of Bernie Sanders and Joe Rogan, listen to this clip right here, which I want to share right now. Listen to this clip of a CNN panel accusing Joe Rogan of being a right-wing shill. And essentially what they're doing is they're saying that no, he didn't believe in Trump. He didn't believe in conservatism. He doesn't believe in anything he says. He's getting paid to say all these things. Watch as this CNN panelist absolutely schools them on that. And it's relevant to everything about the Kamala campaign. It's relevant to the broader perspective, our political spectrum. The political landscape needed this abrupt and defiant and triumphant obliteration. I mean, it literally did. The political landscape has been shattered. The American people, thank God, thanks to independent media organizations like this, we are not falling for the BS anymore. Listen to this.
Bernie Sanders had no problem going on Joe Rogan years ago when Joe Rogan endorsed him. I've been on Rogan's show 3 times. I've probably heard over 100 hours of it in the past decade. A decade ago, Joe Rogan was a Bernie Sanders supporter who would get emotional talking about how important it is to legalize marijuana, who would get emotional talking about how important it is to get Christianity out of politics, in particular on the abortion issue, who had a host of left-wing opinions, including about healthcare. And liberals drove him away by calling him a racist, unearthing jokes he made, calling him a misogynist, really with no evidence.
When you make racist
calling him
jokes
a transphobe,
about people of color,
calling him a
people
lot of
calling you
comedians
racist is likely going to
jokes all
happen.
the time. Calling him transphobic because he didn't like
He
seeing
also didn't
Fallon
love the
Fox
vaccine thing, right?
beating up.
To our point earlier.
That also used to be a left-wing opinion, to be against vaccines like 20 years ago. Again, so he actually hasn't shapeshifted very much, to your point. The Democratic Party has shapeshifted and driven him away and alienated his followers.
I think what he ended up seeing was an American political sphere that shifted, and he found ways. He's a lot smarter than people give him credit for. He found ways to walk into where those people were. Yes, he was a proud, ultra leftist, and then he became a proud person on the right, largely because he saw shifting towards the right, and that's where his money and his audience could come from. He shifted because more of his listeners shifted, and that's where he drove it to. That's nothing more than consumerism at work.
Which of his beliefs changed in the past 10 years? It's really hard to point out which of his beliefs.
But can I zoom out from him? Because I think there is this, and I see you nodding as well, this kind of bigger question.
Bernie Sanders.
So is it just me, or does CNN get more and more people who are just radical, extreme, left of Leninists? I mean, it just seems really odd to me why these guys keep picking these people who really sound, act, think, and spew nonsense, like all the time, like nonsense. Like, I get it, you're desperate for ratings. I get it, you need to try harder. I get it, you're trying to save your cratering network. But it just seems so odd to me, like, why in the world they keep getting the same exact people over and over again. Joe Rogan is probably the most consistent individual in broadcasting history. And The reason why Joe Rogan is so popular is because he has been consistent in his viewpoints, but he's also evolved by looking at actual facts. He's actually evolved, which is the sign of an intelligent human being. He's evolved by being exposed to the truth, and nothing exposed the truth more, perhaps, than what happened in 2020 with the pandemic. I want to also share with you guys this amazing speak. Let's just stay on the Rogan tip for 1 second, because it's not about, Nez, it's not about Rogan. Rogan represents the antithesis to propagandist woke media. And I want to share this exemplification of their out of touchness. This is the National Press Club of Australia. And listen to this old, disheveled, shriveled up relic of mainstream media. Listen to the hypocrisy that he spews when talking about Joe Rogan. I'm going to play for you this really quickly. Hold on 1 second. Let me bring this up. This is, to me, this is the embodiment, the personification of the hypocritical propagandist media. Check this out.
I have a question about Joe Rogan, and you've sort of touched on elements of this in the US. He's obviously the world's most popular podcast host. He has 3 billion listeners. He's sort of managed to successfully capture that bro market in America. And his influence is such that in the wake of the US election, the Democrats have said that one of Kamala Harris's mistakes was that she didn't appear on his program. So I'm just wondering if you had any observations about what's behind the Joe Rogan effect, how you believe he's managed to so successfully capture this huge market. And then for us here in Australia, you know, how would or should the ABC be going about capturing that kind of audience?
Look, I'm not sure that I'm the right person to respond to that question. I am not a consumer or enthusiast about Mr. Rogan and his work.
Shocking.
I am not one of the 3 billion, and I'm unlikely to be 3 billion and one anytime soon. I think people like Mr. Rogan prey on people's vulnerabilities. They prey on fear. They prey on anxiety. They prey on all of the elements that contribute to uncertainty in society, and they entrepreneur fantasy outcomes and conspiracy outcomes as being a normal part of social narrative. I personally find it deeply repulsive.
Okay, wait a minute. Did you guys catch the hypocrisy there? Did you guys actually catch the hypocrisy there? What did he say? He first said, I'm not a consumer. I don't know if I'm the right person to speak on this because I don't listen to him. I don't watch him. I'm not a part of his audience. And then he goes on to say, this is why the live stream media is so utterly worthless, useless, and they are the Hippocratic Party to a T. The hypocrite. Give me a hashtag Hippocrats in the comment down below. Why in the world am I so hyped up about this? Can you tell me why I'm so hyped up about this? He literally said, I don't consume. I'm not one of the listeners. I don't watch. I'm probably the wrong person. And then he goes on to defame him. I mean, Rogan has a case for a lawsuit here. He goes on to defame him and says, I think he's repulsive. I think he preys on people's vulnerabilities and anxieties. How do you know that? You literally just said a second ago that you've never consumed him. I mean, this is so utterly preposterous, repulsive, vile, dishonest, fraudulent. I mean, there isn't enough pejoratives you can hurl at this absolute walking corpse. Their mentality, their programmatic strategies are dead. And you know what I say? I say good riddance. This is why you lost November 5th. This is why people are starting to finally wake up to all of your filth, your drivel, your dreck, your lies. And we are never, thanks to independent media organizations like mine, we are never, ever going to let you pull the wool over the people's eyes ever again. The people have spoken. By the way, real quick plug right here. If you don't think this is the greatest hat ever invented right here, let me get this schmuck out of the way. Look at that. Get yours right now. Go to professornez.com/merch. And we've got a whole lot of other stuff too. In the pinned comment, you can actually click that link. You can actually click the link in the pinned comment, and it's kind of like a link tree, and go to the bottom there and you'll see Nez Nation original, made in the USA, original designs. The people have spoken. You're never going to put the wool over us again because the people have spoken. Screw you, live stream media. Yeah, you can quote me on that. Okay. So that's an absolute lie. Now, next. I'm not going to play the Joyless Reid clip. It's just repulsive. But essentially, this is what Joyless Reid said this, okay? So Joyless Reid, who suffers from probably the most extreme form of TDS. I'm not going to play the clip. I'm not going to put you guys through that because it's just absolutely awful. But let me just share this really fast because this is what she said, and I said I would. So Joyless Reid says that you right-wingers should have to suffer the consequences of your votes. Make your own dinner, MAGA. Make your own sandwiches. Wipe your own tears. Troll amongst yourselves. And this time, you didn't even have to storm the Capitol, smash the windows, try to unalive police officers. If we want to eat with you, we will. But if we just want some peace, stop acting like we owe you. That's the message. They haven't learned anything. They haven't learned anything. My fellow Americans, this is the radical extreme left. They lost resoundingly, and they haven't learned an absolute thing. Okay, last thing I'm going to share with you is, actually, I got two things I want to share with you, and that is Carolyn Leavitt received one of the most absurd emails from the Washington Post, which again proves the media. This is really all about just the insanity of the media, and this is why we won. But I want to show you this absolute masterclass of Kevin O'Leary. Do you guys like Kevin O'Leary? I love Kevin O'Leary. Triggering this entire CNN panel when he talks about Justin Trudeau, the surrogate of the Socialist Party, Communist Party, Justice Trudeau, and his political downfall. I'm going to play this for you right now. But I'd love to get your thoughts on Joyless Reid, who absolutely has zero joy in her life, which is abundantly clear. But check this out from Kevin O'Leary. I absolutely love this bashing.
Trudeau is at the end of his time. It's a parliamentary system. He's hated by his own people. He's got a few months left. Trump will not be negotiating with him. He's gone. This is like the end of the parliamentary system, like Britain. A few months ago, they whacked their PM. Trudeau he's irrelevant. So now Trump should actually bring down the prime minister in waiting, a guy named Pierre Poilievre. He is he's much more in sync with Trump. He's going to lift the ban on pipelines, eradicate no more carbon tax, and investing back in Canada. People want to invest there. And he's concerned about the border, concerned about fentanyl. He should go down to Mar-a-Lago now. Trudeau, irrelevant. Doesn't matter.
What does any of this have to do with starting a trade war? Like, why can't you develop relationships with our allies? It's not a trade war when you get in sync with these two economies. There's no way on earth. We're talking about water, paper, power, cars, gas, oil, all coming from Canada. Massive trading partnership. No chance in hell there'll be a tariff.
Because, just finish the sentence. No chance because it would be damaging, or
because
no
it's
chance?
A bad idea.
No, I just want him to finish his idea.
25% tariff would devastate both countries. It's not going to happen. But the guy to be negotiating with is not Trudeau. He's a zero right now.
What do you guys think of that? Hold on a second. I got to text my wife because we're getting ready to go for our Thanksgiving thing too. What do you guys think of that? Trudeau should be taken out. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I love O'Leary. I think O'Leary has been putting himself out there and unabashedly, unafraid, fearlessly, which I love. And I think he's doing an amazing job. And I love that he's speaking out. He's the antithesis. He's the antithesis to Rachel Maddow's surrogate, Mark Cuban. Okay, check this out. I have to share this. Because this is something. So Carolyn Leavitt, you guys all know Carolyn Leavitt. She's going to be the new White House press secretary. She actually got this absurd email from the Washington Post. Hi, my name is Emmanuel Felton, and I'm a reporter with the Washington Post. I'm writing about an incident that happened in Lawnside, New Jersey, 2 days after the election. A local resident discovered that someone had sprayed "I hate N-word, sorry, not sorry." Here's the bit about Trump that I hoped you would respond to. What happened in Lawnside was part of a wave of racial incidents. This is what he wrote. That occurred in the days following Trump's reelection. Around the time that Heinz fence was sprayed, Black people across the country were receiving text messages that said they'd been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation, which was debunked. And at the same time that Lawnside residents came together to discuss the graffiti on Heinz's fence, a group of self-identified neo-Nazis marched, secret undercover feds, and shouted the same slur in Columbus, Ohio. Look at the highlighted portion. While none of these events can be traced directly back to Trump, none of these events, they have no evidence, nothing substantive, nothing to correlate the two, zero, zilch, zero backup, nada. Experts say that his rhetoric has been tied to an increase in hate crimes across the nation. So there's zero ties, okay? Zero ties to that. Now, how many of you guys remember this? This was an opinion piece, okay, that was shared by Jeff Bezos back in October, where he said, Americans don't trust the news media. And if you don't know, Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post. He reported, wrote this huge piece about how they weren't going to endorse Kamala Harris. Okay, they weren't going to endorse Kamala Harris for good reason. And he's making some huge, major changes at the Washington Post. He's ready to hire some, more balanced reporting staff instead of it being this huge, staunch, left-leaning, radical left contingent. They're not listening to you, Jeff. I hate to tell it to you, but this right here is just living proof that they're not listening to you. Carolyn Leavitt got this email just a few days ago. How dare you, Washington Post? You've got no evidence to connect this to Trump, and yet you're willing to report all of these hate crimes, these quote-unquote, God knows what you're inventing, are connected to Trump's reelection in your title. That is abysmal, abominable, anti-American, and antithetical to the ethos and integrity of journalistic professionalism, 1 billion%. Let me know what you guys think of that in the comments. Can you believe that garbage? Unbelievable. It is absolutely preposterous that they would do that. Okay, so we talked about the beautiful America winning streak that's happening before Trump ever took office. We've got so much more to share with you, and I can't wait to share it with you. You gotta stay tuned. I'm going to give live shout outs now to all super chats and super stickers. If you're looking for 100% original, we also got this too. I love this one. This one might be my favorite. My fellow Americans, we're so back. The guy hasn't even taken oath of office. The guy hasn't even stepped foot on Pennsylvania Avenue in the White House. And my fellow Americans, we are so back. Look how beautiful that is. Tell me you don't want one of these. Tell me you don't want one of these. Just go to professornez.com/merch and get yours right now. Tell me that's not amazing. I absolutely love this hat. We are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. And I cannot thank you guys enough for being here. Love you guys so much. If you're just joining us, you got to watch the replay, because we also shared clips of Kamala's staff confessing the entire campaign was a lie. It was all a fraud. The internal pollings were all manufactured. You got to check out, plus a whole bunch more. I want to give a big shout out to Jim Barron. JB, it's so good to see you, brother. Fantastic. Great to see you. Thank you for gifting memberships. JB, we got the best mods in the business. So awesome to see you. Give yourself a huge round of applause. I am so proud of our awesome mods. MG's in the house. JoJo's in the house. Laura Tilford, everybody, fantastic. Thank you, Karen Wickhorst. Pardon me, I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you so much for the $2.99 super sticker. Jim Barron, thank you again for another gifted membership. You're amazing, JB. Jojo, it's so good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. This is the happiest of Thanksgiving. I'm just about get ready to go to my family's home right now to enjoy that. Also, don't forget, let me know where you're joining me from, what city, what state, what country. Are you watching this from the replay? I love hearing from you guys. Happy Thanksgiving, Jojo. It's so great to see you. And thank you for the gifted membership. Love you, Jojo. And happy again, belated birthday. I know you had a birthday recently. It's so great to see you, Jojo. By the way, Jojo, you're the first and only at this point member who shared a live stream with us. She was live. I got to give a big shout out to Jojo because she was at the legendary, historical Madison Square Garden rally that Trump had right before the election. She was there live in New York at Madison Square Garden, and she was nice enough to connect with us because we were live. We weren't live there, but she was actually physically there. So I appreciate you, Jojo, for coming on the stream at that moment. If you missed that, go check out. We got the replay. It's phenomenal. Jojo, thank you for the gifted membership too. You were awesome. MG, holy mackerel. Everybody give a huge round of applause to MG. Probably, quite frankly, she is one of the best, if not the best. She comes all the time and she contributes. She participates. She's not a nasty person like Kamala. No, quite frankly, probably I like her as one of my favorite. MG is phenomenal. She's beautiful. She doesn't come from China. She's not a part of Tren de Aragua. And she subscribes to my favorite YouTube channel. That's right. Professor Nez. I love Professor Nez. I watch him all the time because he's quite frankly the best, and there's nobody better than him. Thank you, Professor Nez. Thank you, Mr. President. I love you. MG, you are amazing. Mountain Goddess, it is always phenomenal to see you. Love you, girl. I hope you're having a phenomenal Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Thank you from the bottom of our heart. 10 memberships. You are amazing. Love you. Smurfy Tunes, thank you for becoming a brand new member. By the way, all new members, not only do you get access to our members-only Discord, not only do you automatically get registered. It's automatic as soon as you become a member. Now would be a pretty good time to become a member. You automatically get registered into our live stream giveaways. I've given away thousands of dollars of not only merch, okay, but Amazon gift cards, cash, holy mackerel. And we got a whole lot more coming. So stay tuned. I sometimes do them randomly. I sometimes announce them, which is why you definitely want to sign up for our free newsletter. That's in the pinned comment as well. You also get priority comment, priority responses, live Q&A when we have guests, boosted engagement. And again, you get access to our members-only Discord. The link can be found on our community tab, on our community post on YouTube. Make sure you go check that out. Smurfy Tunes, welcome. Mountain Goddess, thank you so much. You've given enough already. My goodness, $5 super chat. Professor Nez, thank you for bringing truth to the masses. How does it feel to beat the media elite? The fight's not over. We still have a long fight ahead of us, but they are bleeding, and they're bleeding profusely. And the eulogy, the funeral, is next. We have to keep fighting. This is why I say tap the thumbs up. It doesn't cost you a thing. Tap the thumbs up right now. Just do it right now. It's not for me. It's not for vanity. When you tap the thumbs up, it pushes our video out to more people. I know how the algorithm works. When you watch, like, and comment on these videos, every single time you do that, you're putting a dagger into the propagandist woke media's heart. So join me in daggerifying this live stream media. Let's get rid of them once and for all. Every time you like, comment, and watch, you're doing that. So God bless you. Love you. Thank you so much, Connie Cole. Look at that beautiful picture of your little pooch there. Thank you for the $4.99 super sticker. God bless you. I really, really appreciate you guys. Okay, guys, I got to get going. Love you guys so much. If you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe, follow. You guys are the absolute best. Phil Apodaca. I just like saying Phil Apodaca. So great to see you, man. You got the best last name on the planet. Thank you for gifting that membership, Phil. It's great to see you, by the way. You're awesome. Love you guys so much. Have a great, happy, loving, warm, safe. I hope you have a safe Thanksgiving. Make sure it's safe. Don't drink and drive. Stay where you are. We want all the beautiful Americans back and safely home. Don't worry. We're going to make America great. We're going to keep on making America great, quite frankly, probably better than it's ever been. Yeah, better than it's ever been. Because you watch Professor Nez. My favorite media organization is Professor Nez. I love him. He speaks the truth. Make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. I love you, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And God bless you. God bless you, my fellow Americans. I love you guys so much. And God bless the United States of America.